Obviously, the CNS crowd got a good look at this game. The Dallas and Vikings. I didn't get a chance to watch it, which was disappointing to me because we get some pretty bad coverage up here on the TV, and I would have liked to have seen this game because it ended up being pretty good. But what are you gonna do? It's nice to see T.O. Have a 100-yard game again. I've always liked T.O. I don't care what anyone says. I really respect what he does on the field, and off the field, I think he's a completely different guy now. And maybe before, he did this, he did that, but now I really do think that he's a new guy, and I like the guy. Um, Romo played pretty well. Obviously, yeah, I guess I should throw this in. As you all probably know, Dallas wins 24-14. They bottle up Adrian Peterson reasonably well. I think if he got more touches, he would have done considerably better. Sometimes as a running back, you need several carries to warm up, and then you can start ripping things up. And given how many times he touched the ball, he did pretty well. But this coaching staff obviously doesn't want him to burn out like Eddie George or so many other great running backs in the history that got so overloaded early in their career and had their careers cut short, and you don't want that to happen to AP, so I guess I won't disagree with it. Right now, it's the only way you can win games, though. Tavares Jackson's just awful. Awful. And I think the Vikings are going to have a good shot to draft Andre Woodson, and they better do that. If they don't do that, I'm going to question this organization's will to win, because Andre Woodson, I really do believe he's going to be a superstar in this league, and if Minnesota gets him and Sidney Rice and Troy Williamson become better players, it's going to be purple rain in Minnesota for many, many years. Take that one to the bank. That's really what I believe. Minnesota still had a chance to win this game, as poorly as the offense was, poor as the offensive was. The defense had that crazy defensive touchdown, and they almost had another one on that Kevin Williams run, and I'm sure some of you Cowboys fans, CNS at the game, were just kind of thinking, oh no, when some of that stuff started to happen, but you pulled it out. Big field goal block. Chris Canny, who, hasn't been a great player like some expected so far in his career, makes a key play. He just went right through the line and blocks that kick, and not a lot else to say here. So, moving on to the Sunday night game, you got Denver and Pittsburgh. I don't get it. Mike Tomlin looking so good for the start of the season, and then you go out against the best pass defense in the league and the worst run defense in the league. And admittedly, those two things go hand in hand, but still it gives you an idea of what you should do against this team. And he passes it. Ben threw it 35 times and opened the game with 10 out of 15 passes. And Pittsburgh started the game hot. They went up 7-0, and I was kind of thinking, well, here we go. And then, Denver drove down the field and answered with a touchdown of their own, and Denver offense played real well. I got to give my props to Denver. I thought they were done, but they blew me away on Sunday night with their performance. I thought the Pittsburgh defense was way too vanilla compared to how they usually play, but especially on that last drive, a lot of teams will drop back into prevent defenses and stuff at the end. I hate that philosophy. The prevent defense only prevents the team using it from winning, in my opinion. But I got to give credit to Denver. Their offense just came together, running the ball pretty well, passing it real well. But ultimately, I think the game comes down to Pittsburgh dropping back to pass too much. They gave up all kinds of sacks. They, they turned it over 3 times, which led to Denver points. Parker had a pretty solid game. He ran for 93 yards, so it's not like he was completely worthless or anything. He was playing up pretty well. So I don't know why you wouldn't give him the ball more. And, there's a lot of blame to pass around here. You can blame the defense on that final drive not getting it done. You can blame the turnovers. I don't know. I think it comes back to the coaching staff. I think if you just run the ball a little more. But I got to give my shout out to Jay Cutler, because I love this kid. The moment he got taken by Denver, I thought, this kid's going to be great. He's going to be a great player in this league, and he looked real well against a tough defense. on Sunday, so impressed by him. And let's see, Monday night last night, I watched this whole game. Indy 29, Jacksonville 7. Repeat champs. They're undefeated. They're 6-0 and getting not much respect because of what New England's doing. I think Indianapolis should remain considered number one in many power rankings, but that's just my opinion. I think they're playing just as impressive as Indianapolis. Jacksonville is a great team. They can stop the run well. They have a great defense all around. They play a conservative offense that doesn't turn it over a lot and runs the ball well. So they're a solid all-around team, and to beat them by 22 says a lot to me. Manning didn't have his best game. He's going to do that every now and then. I kind of found it funny at the end how he threw that cheap touchdown to Clark to kind of up his stats a little bit. I know the game wasn't over at that point, but that touchdown pass made me laugh, half because Clark was wide open, half because I thought it was a little bit running up the score. I don't know. Speaking of running up the score, I want you guys to go to Tuesday Morning Quarterback this week. Read that article. It's basically just a big bitch slap on the New England Patriots, and I found it funny, and it's a fun read. I would check it out. Even if you don't agree with that, I would recommend checking it out. Anyway, as for New England, they did a little bit of everything right. Obviously David Garrard got hurt, and Jacksonville's chances kind of ended there. So, say what you will. But they forced some turnovers. They just in general stopped Jacksonville from moving the ball. And, I love the way these returning Super Bowl champs are looking. They got Carolina next week. And then you got the big showdown. And I can't wait. As for Jacksonville, they're still a good team, but with Quinn Gray or Tim Couch or whoever else they want to bring in, have Matt Jones play quarterback, I don't care. I don't know if they can go anywhere because they're going to turn the ball over left and right, and they can't win games turning the ball over. They're not that kind of team. So they got 3 road games in a row. This isn't going to be easy. If Jacksonville wants a wild card, they're going to have to find a way to upset one of these 3 teams. So we'll see. We'll see. And that wraps up my look at this week. You can go check my milestone tracker in my profile box. I updated it recently, and if somehow New England or Indianapolis loses next week, I will get a mock draft up in the subsequent week. And I took an early peek at next week's matchups, and it's going to be hell on my Pick'em League because those are some tough games to call. But I'll get to that later this week. I'm signing out.